May the 14th, 2020. Guys, you're looking at the latest from the National Hurricane Center, and you can see that this potential tropical storm now, and it would be called Arthur, as in King Arthur. If it develops, and it has an 80% chance of doing that. But notice as I reanimate this satellite imaging, that as the storm moves north like this, there's a wind that it's got to go through that's going to try to push it ashore, and that's how we're seeing the difference in the models. But notice right in this area, that section of the entire air current is moving from right to left. So as this system is moving off of Florida, gets into that's where it's going to become critical as far as how close it comes to you guys up around North Carolina, etc. We've talked about that. If you're looking at the radar, it's not that impressive yet, but you're getting very high winds around Florida and some rain. And if we look at the water vapor loop, this is dry area in the brown. Green areas are high moisture. You've got more moisture in the system that's off the coast of Louisiana and Texas now than you actually do in the system off the tip of Florida. That's going to change as it moves up the Gulf Stream. What's going to happen, you see that group, that large area of moisture in central Louisiana now, it's going to merge with the moisture off Florida up into the Carolinas. We talk about a rain event with a lot of water. And it may be interesting tomorrow to see if they even mention this system off of Texas becoming tropical or subtropical. We'll watch. It's hard to say. Right now it's starting to cool off with the sun going down. What has changed, this is not the 5-day forecast, but the 2-day forecast. That means we're getting closer to this event becoming a cyclone. 70% chance. Says this trough of the Straits of Florida is producing large areas of cloudiness and thunderstorms. Environmental conditions are expected to become conducive for development. The system is likely to become a tropical or a subtropical storm by late Friday or Saturday when it's located near the northwestern Bahamas. The system is then forecast to move generally northeastward over the western Atlantic next week. Guys, we're going to have to watch that. Remember, the Canadian model shows it coming back inland, and you're seeing that air current north of it. It says regardless, heavy rainfall, Florida Keys, southeast Florida, Bahamas through Saturday. Tropical storm force wind gusts are also possible in the Keys. Now, same information if you go to the 5-day forecast, except that it is an 80% chance by that time. If you click on it and you go there, you'll see still in the red, but 80% chance. And what they were talking about is hazardous marine conditions are expected along the Florida East Coast. All through that area, the Bahamas, we've talked about that. Don't boat this weekend. So we're getting close to tomorrow's Friday. They're talking about Friday or Saturday development. And remember, in this red area, that's not the size of the storm. That's the potential for the center of the path, from the left side coming up into North Carolina to the right side headed straight out into the Atlantic. One other interesting note, guys, we got 2 satellites that are in the same order as Earth, but they're on the other side of the sun, stereo A and stereo B, and this is A. What you're seeing in the left edge of this image is Comet Swan, because it's rising up. Notice as I pull this close up, you got Mercury, you got Venus and Earth on the right side, and that's what you're seeing in those bright spots. Here also is stereo A, but this is the H2A camera. And if you look to the very far left, I'll pull it up, you can see Swan being picked up. And so what you got with the LASCO satellites and SDO are Earth-facing images, but in the same orbit of Earth as we travel around the sun, there's satellites that are there. The Earth is in the green dot. Stereo A that we're looking at is right there in the red dot. See that? B is to the right. The A and B in the stereo satellites means ahead of and behind, but these things have changed, and both are past their life expectancy, and they've been hit by major solar flares during the peak of this last solar maximum. And B was really weakened, but the images that we're seeing will be very helpful as we watch other objects come in. But again, Comet Swan rising, I hope you guys could see that. It's very interesting. So heads up, be safe.